Hello dear friends, it's been raining heavily, so I decided to take some time off as I'm in between two events and to make this video about my impressions from working in German ecosystem. It's been a week since I've been here in Berlin and I had so many insights, and as you can tell from the way I sound, my throat really needs a bit of recovery because I've been talking a lot, networking a lot, figuring out the best way to minimize my sleep but feeling the same level of energy. And as you can see, I shoot this video intentionally a bit diagonally to emphasize the importance of having a different perspective. Every time I am abroad, when I work for a longer period of time away from my homeland Serbia, I feel as if time passes differently, especially in cosmopolitan cities, because you don't have at all time to waste. You really have to be very strategic the way you make your deals, the way you schedule meetings, because it takes you an hour to come from one location to the other. And at the same time, you really want to find time to relax, to spend time with your friends and family if you have them around, and also to be the best version with yourself as you continue to learn something, or you also get involved in some physical activities. I've been quite diligent. So far I trained 4 times, and because we are approaching the end of the week, so I will definitely go to the gym and possibly dance lessons over the weekend. But in this video I wanted to share actually insights for all of you who are at the crossroads in Korea and who feel that you're ready to give 100% or even more to either the company which you own or the company of that somebody else is the shareholder, or you have a boss yourself. I had a situation of meeting a gentleman who is a refugee who came all the way from Syria, and who actually walked on his way. He actually passed through Serbia and Albania on his way towards Germany. And I realized by visiting the camp where the person lives, how actually all of us are capable of doing more than we thought we can, and how actually struggle and war and losing your family in the sense of having them all in one place, as it happened to that man, makes you stronger. And things such as what I'm going to do on Monday morning and how I'm going to finish the report by Friday become so futile and so irrelevant when you think about the grand scale of human tragedy and when you think about what all of us are capable of enduring. However, this guy felt a bit shaken because it's been a while. Although it's been a while since he found his way in Germany, he started an internship, he thinks of doing a career in telecommunication and artificial intelligence, but still he confessed to me at some point that he feels very difficult, that he feels a lot of struggle and mental pressure. And I actually came to the refugee camp with the intention of finding people from my region. And I saw even on the camp that it was written in English, in German, in Serbian, Albanian, and of course Arabic, how people should behave, and that actually it is under video surveillance, and that there are certain codex of behavior, etc. And of course it became apparent as I talked to him, as I got to hear his story, that it would be almost impossible to meet people from the region who were, there was a playground, there were kids playing in sand or on different kinds of seesaws, roller coasters. It was lovely made, and the houses were, painted in different colors with windows in yellow and facades, and then green, red, blue, feeling like a bit of rainbow, bringing some brightness as the video effects right now are. And at the same time, I guess the rain is stopping now. And at the same time, the man was talking how depressed he felt and how difficult it was for him. And at some point he said, well, I'm a different person than the one you met at one IT meetup that I attended. And I said, I know that. I realized that 5 minutes after we started speaking, because I'm very good at reading people and I'm very intuitive and, you know, I have a lot of empathy. And he said, but why did you decided to continue talking? Because it became apparent that I will not meet people that I came to see after a while, yeah. And I said, because sometimes in life you have to guide yourself. Sometimes you have to move on from the previous plan, and you need to let yourself be guided. And I think this is so important way to think about life in the age of uncertainty we live in, because we so much have pressure and we always think about ourselves, are we on the right track or not? And the only way we can actually get to feel better is when we are present, when we try to seize the most we can from the moment we have. And actually, when you feel that you're really in the state of flow, things start to change. I realized that in that day, I could be just there for him and not judge him, not saying to him what he should do or not do, but just try to understand, because he kept saying at one point you have so much and you have everything, you know, your life, and then you have to start over and over again. And I actually compared in talking to him his story with heroes from the First World War that our grandparents, those of you who watch this from Serbia will know what I'm exactly talking about, who actually came all the way from Albania to Greece, as this was the way the soldiers were retreating. And this was the exit strategy at that moment, because otherwise our country would be defeated and we will lose the entire population in the First World War. So doing retreat, doing the most we can, and actually feeling grateful is how so many people who are immigrants feel. Of course, so many refugees feel like that. And it takes a while to grow with you, that this experience actually grows with you. It takes a while for you to understand that it happens for a higher good, that you cannot feel that anything happens, that anything moves, that anything changes as it starts to do. But after a while you feel better. The striking difference that this man shared with me was that he felt really inadequate, because in the morning he goes to work as an intern in one of top companies in Berlin, and in the evening he comes back to the north where the camp is, and he talks to people who are mostly menial workers and who are from his part of the world originally, but he shares nothing in common with them because he considers himself an entrepreneur. And I shared with him a story of myself and many other young people I know who left their place of where they were born or their hometown and actually don't hang out with the friends they grew up with, not because so much as they used to, not because it's a matter of ego or because it's a matter of elitism or some kind of snobbery, but because there are not common topics to talk about. There's no support, mutual. People shift in their business interests, in the way how they think career should be built. Do you think that a person who is an investor can talk to somebody who is a typical employee and discuss what ideal work is? Because for two of them, ideal work is so different. For somebody who looks at the clock and thinks about going at 5 o'clock sharp, and for somebody who wakes up at 2 o'clock and goes on to the toilet and gets a superb idea or a solution to the problem that has been bugging him or her for ages, those are completely different stories. And it shifts in the way we interact with people, in the way we treat time, in the way we measure our achievement, in the way we manage our energy, in the way we develop ourselves and kind of navigate our emotions. But as I told to my wonderful friend from Syria, we all need to have a compass inside of us. We all need to have something higher than us that guides us. And the easiest way to find that is by gratitude. I was talking about the art of giving and receiving in one of the videos. I recommend watching it and sharing your thoughts on that. And actually, when I think about my experience here, I connected to so many amazing VCs, so many amazing companies, so many startups that are building something. Berlin is home to several thousand startups. Actually, I think it employs 50,000 people only in startup world. It has 100 co-working spaces. It's a real privilege to be here. Competition is terrible in the sense that everybody wants to succeed. But what I noticed immediately is that, at least in the program where I am with colleagues from different parts of the world, everybody wants to help. I was on Monday, we had a workshop at Berlin Partners, and after the official part ended and we started, to have an hour break until the lunchtime, and then workshop about legal procedures for building your company in Germany. Actually, a man from Israel approached me and he said, well, I would like to look at your pitch deck, what you're preparing for your company. And I said, of course. And I was so amazed because I don't encounter in my homeland and in other parts of the world such open attitude of helpfulness. Usually I'm the one who gives more. I'm not saying this to calculate. I just feel that's the way I am. I like to give value because it aggregates, because I feel good about that, and because I would feel terrible to know that I could help, but I didn't. That's how I approach life. I believe that everybody can win, and if somebody wins, nobody actually loses. It's not a zero-sum game at all for me. It's everybody can win game, but are we willing to play the game until the very end, or are we willing to invest everything we can to win? That's another story and topic for another video. And this man was actually talking to me, and he gave me so many amazing insights. It turns out he was originally although from Israeli background, grew up in the US, worked there, established very successful companies in 25 cities, now looking for the way to digitalize in a very competitive infrastructure, and actually to expand in a very competitive industry, eventually to expand to verticals and other industries. And I realized, wow, this is something that we should definitely nurture. Then I actually helped another team that does optimizes the journey for patients in healthcare, and I assessed their idea. I asked them difficult questions. We discussed their business model. I gave them some suggestions to improve. And on my way to the gym in a congress center where I exercise, I saw actually announcement for the workshop and congress that lasts entire day about health, and I WhatsApped one of the friends from that startup and to tell them these guys are going to be today, come over. That very team of people actually helped me with double checking some business contacts and business cards, which I wasn't sure that I got right from one networking event which we attended together. The guy from the story I mentioned to you in the beginning, who helped me with the pitch deck, asked me to help him with translating some chatbot requirements, chatbot sentences in German. And this is how it works. You can't measure what you do to other people, how you help them, but it always brings you back to very beginning. Success for the sake of success is not success, because it leaves you empty-handed. You feel and your soul is empty. Success is nothing if you cannot share it with somebody. You remember that people who achieved enormous monetary success, who sold their companies for a huge amount of money, they still hang out with equally amazing people, and they bring back to community. They invest in education, in nonprofits, in philanthropic projects. And it's not the money that makes us happy. It just makes our life easier. But money is a fantastic magnifying glass, because it amplifies, like, magnifying glass, what Sherlock Holmes has, because it amplifies who we are for real. If we are good people, it just helps us do more of good. And if we are bad people, it just attracts and showcases, as if we are volcano, greed and snobbery and misfortune and misery. So I encourage you to continue being good people, to help your community as you help your companies, and to always remember that no matter what kind of struggle you had, it is something that shaped you who you are today. In the same way as my grandfather walked all the way from Serbia to Corfu Island, and many other people did in 1917, exactly 100 years ago. And as my friend from Syria and many thousands of people our age and younger and older did the same, and from many other Middle East countries, to reach better life, those experiences, although they're terribly difficult, actually, at some point, when we look back, we can look at them and say, I knew at that moment that I will make it, and I will be proud of myself, who I am today and who I will be tomorrow. Thank you.